I'm no sociologist, and I have read no studies of this, and it might just be in my imagination, but it seems to me people are getting angrier. People are quick to anger these last few years, and it seems to me at least to be getting worse. The kindling is there. The kindling is there. An epidemic continues to rage. Unprecedented fires out west rage on. And this pending election is a swirling whirlwind of rage. You who are our new freshmen, it's like you are Rip Van Winkle. You fell asleep somewhere in March, some 8 months ago, as a senior in high school, and you woke up in St. Louis in college, reeling about where all this time went and what happened and how did you get here. One of you told me just last weekend that you still felt like you were in high school. Times like these, anger rages on, and anger gets misplaced often. Meet our new lightning rod for our anger, our masks. With everything raging on, it's no wonder we find ourselves so easily outraged. The psalm we just sang so powerfully, so beautifully, it's one of my favorites. It's one of the few I know by heart, so I can sing it when I'm alone in the woods or whatever. We just proclaimed in that song, God is slow to anger. God is rich in mercy, in kindness rather, slow to anger, rich in kindness. Well, if that's true, and if it's true that we are created in the image and likeness of that God who is slow to anger, rich in kindness, then why are we not slow to anger ourselves, but so quick to anger? And why are we not rich in kindness, but rather quite poor in kindness, really? What went wrong? We are so quick now to take offense. Everything, it seems, is somebody intending to hurt us or slight us or ignore us. I would bet it would not take you long to remember a time in the last few weeks where you were not guilty as charged, where you were not quick to anger, an angry response, lunging back verbally, maybe even physically, or that other horrible expression of anger that is the silent treatment. We write them off so quickly, don't we? Everything is shut down in us towards that person who hurt us, to whom we are angry. Our anger confounds us, and it is destroying us. It does not take anger long to turn into resentment, and as a resentment to disassemble affection and regard for one another. Instead of us controlling our anger ends up controlling us. We start to become our angers. They stay. Listen again to the warning from this book of wisdom in our church. Wrath and anger are hateful things, yet the sinner hugs them, hugs their angers tightly. Forgive your neighbor's injustice, then when you pray, you're going to be forgiven. Could anyone nourish anger against another and expect healing? Could anyone refuse mercy to another like himself, yet seek pardon for his or her own sins? If one who is but flesh cherishes wrath, who will forgive them? Remember your last days. Remember, there's going to be a last day. Set enmity aside. Let go of your anger. Who would not think to turn over control of our minds to another outside of ourselves. Most of us would never want to turn over control of our minds to somebody out there, but we regularly turn over our minds. We turn over our minds all the time to this inside force called anger. And it's controlling us. It controls our thinking, and it takes over the control of our mouth and the words we speak, totally under control of this force inside of ourselves, our bodies even, that make us whole physically turn away from somebody, not look them in the eyes because we're so mad, so hurt. Not many of us are into being tied up, right? Yet we allow ourselves all the time to be tied up by our angers. And it makes forgiveness impossible then. And this gospel is all about forgiveness. 70 times 7, 77 times. The church is inviting us through these scriptures this morning here. The universal church is hearing this. Every nation, every country, every human being who attends to these readings is hearing the same thing we are hearing today. A call to forgiveness as a regular part of our lives. They remind us that forgiveness is ongoing, not once or twice, but day in and day out. 70 times 7. Forgiveness is a necessary and needed part of every good relationship because anger and hurt is a part of every good relationship. The good ones are not the ones that don't have hurt and anger. The good ones are the ones that have it and deal again and are committed to dealing with it the rest of their time together. It's a needed and necessary part of every good relationship. We have yet to come to terms, you and I, we have yet to come to terms with the fact that entering into a relationship that is serious, if it is ever going to be rewarding, it's going to mean 100,000 times again we will be hurt. 100,000 times over a lifetime relationship we will be angry, and therefore it will require 100,000 acts of forgiveness. Are you ready for that when you begin a marriage or when you begin a good friendship? Can you embrace that along with everything else that is good? Am I ready for that? If we or you would ever know it by the way we respond when we feel hurt or angry, you would never know it. Our anger, your anger and mine, stretches from something like irritation, annoyance, to rage. And we are everywhere in between all the time. Some experts suggest that the average adult gets angry about once a day and annoyed or peeved about 3 times a day. Other anger management experts suggest that getting angry 15 times a day is more likely a realistic average for most of us. 15 times a day, they suggest we get angry. That was my big excuse when I was a teenager with my parents. Well, Mom, Jesus got angry. And it's true. We have recorded so many times Jesus got angry. This Son of Man, this Son of God, angry at his own mom, at Peter, the president, head of his own church that would follow him. Jesus got angry. And if we dare relationships with people, with other people, we're going to be hurt. That's the truth. And at some point, our expectations of other people won't be met. And our Buddhist friends remind us that most of our suffering is because of expectations that are not real. That's a home run wisdom. And they will leave us angry, therefore. And the emotions of mad, glad, sad, or scared, they all belong in every friendship, in every relationship, in every marriage. We will always be mad, glad, sad, and scared. Do not trust anyone, my friends. Do not trust anyone who says they never feel any one of them in their marriage or in their friendships or at work or at school. Over the years, I have met some of the sweetest people who I never thought were even capable of anger, only to find out that that was actually their own version of a different kind of mask. It was actually repression, they might call it. For one reason or another, they learned that that was an emotion they could not let themselves feel, that people will leave them if they get angry. And more often than not, they ended up depressed. And at least one definition of depression is, you guessed it, repressed anger. I get mad just thinking about it. We are all, you and I, on the spectrum between annoyance and impatience and rage. But it's all just anger. It's just anger. I remember reporting to my spiritual director in the seminary that I was annoyed by one of my classmates. And he goes, you know, Gary, you use annoyed as a way of avoiding the word anger. Why is it so hard for you to just say, I'm really angry at that man? Whoa. We carry so many expectations about others, or ideal marriages, or perfect friendships, or the best jobs, or college, the way it's supposed to be. But those expectations, when they're not met, and they never are met, when those start to unfold for us, we have a choice. You can choose to become the anger yourself, or you can welcome the anger as part of life. You can learn from angers as they come up in you, and you can then choose to forgive. You can let go of the anger and forgive. Yes, you're free to hold on to bitterness, anger, and resentment, but good luck with that one. Or you can respond this time in a different way. You can dare to pick up that anger as white hot as it is, and dare to look underneath that anger, see what's underneath of it. Listen to it because it's telling you what you really care about, if you care to learn. And if you do care to learn about those unrealistic expectations you harbor about how life should look, or what a healthy relationship should be about, or the fact that you are imperfect, and in any relationship, that makes two of us. Let me hereby proclaim the obvious, and hereby declare that in this school year that stretches before you, who are students or professors in any way, probably in the very week that stretches before us right now, somebody's going to tick you off, somebody's going to make you mad, and you will make somebody mad. And life's giving us more than enough kindling right now for all of that. We all, this coming school year, will have many good teachers. Let your anger be among them. And then this too shall pass. Your anger will pass. And our friendships and our marriages will be well. And we will be well as well. As a woman who experienced Jesus' anger when he was growing up, and even from her adult son, I invite you to turn towards Mary in your imagination right now. And repeat after me if you would. You here and you at home. Mary, untire of knots, please help us untie that knot in our stomach. That is our first clue that we are really, really mad. Mary, the world needs you right now to promise us that we can do this. And please, Mary, show us how. Amen.